Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We are so delighted to be with you. It is Friday evening, February the 21st, and we see a number of you in the chat. So welcome to everyone as you're joining along. We are 7 soul sisters. We have 6 tonight who are merging our magic in building this wonderful community together. So we are very grateful for you. We have the lovely Jen joining us, Elizabeth, Dawn, Marcia, and Angie. Myself, Sari, and we are only missing Wendy. So Wendy, we're sending you lots of big hugs and lots of kisses tonight. So we have a great conversation today with all of you, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the astrology, and Dawn is going to lead us in that conversation. Mars is going to direct late on the 23rd, or depending upon where you are in the world, on the 24th. There's a new moon on the 27th. And next week, all planets will be going direct. So next week, we have a whole lot of action going on. But right now, we actually have a pause. We talked about this on Monday, that most of this week and weekend would be fairly quiet energetically. And so we're going to talk about the implications of that and how we can harness those energies before we ramp up again next week. And like always, we're going to be doing some individual card pulls. So we'd love for you to put in the chat a heart if you want a reading, or put a number between 1 and 9. And so welcome everyone. So we've got Kathy, Angela, Venus, Peggy, Donna. Trying to think of who else, if I've missed you. We're so grateful that you are here. And again, let us get started. And I believe Misty's here as well. So welcome to all. So let's go ahead and get started before we hand over to Dawn with just a quick clearing. So we're going to take advantage of this concept of stillness. And I'd like everyone just to close your eyes, soften your gaze, slow your breathing down, relax into your seat. Let's take a couple of nice deep cleansing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you continue to relax and slow your breathing, imagine that you are sitting on the top of a canyon. And you were looking out over the canyon in its vastness, the beautiful colors of orange and cinnamon and red and sand. You can actually hear your voice echo if you speak. The only thing that you can hear in the silence is the wind, gently blowing through your hair, blowing through you and around you. There is peace in the stillness. The sky is a beautiful color of blue, what they call sky blue. And you are sitting cross-legged, breathing deep, breathing in Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, and the beauty of the stillness. As your mind quietens, so does your body. Your heart is calm. You are relaxing your shoulders. You are relaxing your body. And you are connecting with this beautiful silence and connecting with Mother Gaia. Feel her energy coming up to support you. And at the same time, feel that beautiful light from heaven coming down to meet your crown chakra. And these two lights wash through our bodies, and they meet one another in the middle and shake hands. And imagine these energies going up and down through our chakras with great joy, cleansing and clearing each of our chakras, and at the same time connecting us to Mother Earth and connecting us up to the heavens. And we are surrounded with this beautiful golden light as we look out at the sunset of this canyon. It looks like a painting. We can see the gold of the sunset, hues of purple and orange and red. As we deep breathe one more time in through the nose, back out through the mouth, we are grounded, we are balanced, we are divinely protected, we are source energy. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Dawn to get us started. Thank you, Dawn.
Hello, everyone. So we are in the energy of Mars stationing to go direct. That will happen late on the 23rd or on the 24th, depending upon where you're located at. And I got some imagery of that Mars turning direct energy of, I feel like we've been swimming against the current with this Mars and Cancer energy. And it's been a really strong current and we've really had to work hard. We're exhausted. Like throw us a lifeline. I'm getting tired of this. So what happens when it turns direct is that it's going to be in a trine with Saturn. And also on the new moon, it'll be in a trine with Saturn. That is beneficial energy. It is a good anchor, I would say. And it gives you the energy of, when the swimmer is swimming and they get to that wall and they do that flip turn, it's a flip turn apparently, you get that great kickoff from it that can really surge you forward in the water and really help you get moving forward. Now, Mars is not going to be all of a sudden speeding up. It's going to be at 17 degrees for a bit before it slowly starts to move forward. But the important thing is that it's going to be making a trine as it moves forward with Venus. It'll be trining the North Node. It'll be trining Neptune. All of that energy is going to be touched by Mars. So it's going to be happening as Mars is got the energy and is moving forward with the current now. So I also will say, if you've had recent downloads this week, we do have Mercury at 11 degrees, which is squaring Jupiter right about now. And that can give you downloads. It may not be completely clear yet because it is in Pisces. Jupiter is in Gemini. That's thoughts. You'll get ideas. Maybe you're not sure on how to act on them yet. I think that'll come later. I think this Mercury and Venus, once we go through the retrogrades in March, starting in March, we'll have much more clarity at the end of all that time. But this is a time for taking a beat, taking a rest, using the hanged man energy of looking at things from a different perspective. Things I know astrologically are going to change in a huge way. Many astrologers will say, don't know what it is. It's big. It'll be different. We've never seen anything like this before. So even in the readings I've been getting, it's very much an energy of you're going to have to change what you see as valuable. And what is truly valuable is people. And you have to be willing. The biggest part of this is being adaptable, being open to change and being adaptable. That is the huge part of this. So take stock of what you've got going on. And you still have that Mars in that home sign of Cancer to redo things with your home. Really make it more, once you clear away clutter and things that you don't use anymore, it leaves so much better space for you energetically. So I would say that's something to focus on this week. And then just in this moment of stillness, it's a perfect time to listen. Listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. Be open to those messages. So does anybody have any questions regarding any of the astrology that's going on right now? It'll get busier later, but it's relatively quiet right now. We can use that taking a breath, and it will be much easier with Mars being direct. And we do have all of the planets direct for 5 days. So enjoy that. Enjoy that time. Certainly. All right. With that, I will move this over to.
Hang on, Dawn. I was noticing. I was going to text you today, but it got late about this. Like Mercury is going so fast. Like because normally I put my board, I post that every single day of what the sky looks like, what planet is where, and in what degrees and what lesson that is. For Mercury, normally that would be a card a day because it moves a degree generally with the sun. But it's been going so fast that it's been like, I'm like, wait a minute, we're skipping. We went from 12 to 4 yesterday to 14 today. And it skipped completely over the 13 degrees, which makes sense because last night I pulled King of Swords twice, the male and the feminine King of Swords. And it was about developing sharpness of intent. And it kept bothering me because he had a big old sparrow right for his eye, like zeroing in on it. I'm like, why is it moving that fast? I haven't ever seen it move like that fast. It doesn't normally skip ahead that quickly. And I know it, again, generally moves with the sun, but sometimes it's super slow. And I'll have the same card out for 2 days because it hasn't quite ticked over to that next degree. Any idea why that would, like, it's just going so fast? I just have never seen it do that so far.
The speed that you're talking about is the fastest that Mercury does get. It will go up to 2 degrees a day as far as, and it will be slow as well as that. I'm really focused more. I mean, I know this has been flying by, and I think we are getting lots and lots of messages coming in, and it's as it goes through those degrees, it will be touching something because it goes, from 0 to 30. So it touches everything. But once it gets to the 26 degree mark and gets inside of its shadow for the Venus retrograde, I think that is where the most attention is going to be focused on, because it's going to be much slower, and the messages that we're going to be getting, it's going to hit Saturn, the North Node, all of those things very, very soon. And to me, that's where all of a sudden it's taking its time.
Okay, that must be why, because this week has been crazy synchronicities. Like I get them all the time, but like a lot and fast, like just one, bam, bam, bam. So that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and
it's speeding up.
Yeah, and I feel like time itself is not, we're getting that essence of the time not being linear, right? Sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, this past 5 minutes felt like 2 hours. I got a lot done, right? But time seems to be changing. And I do think that, astrology is such a harmony of things. So I do feel we have been getting a lot of messages in. Some people, it's not quite clear yet. It will be clearer once we get the North Node involved. I feel like the collective is so much being pushed to where it should be going, on that higher collective energy of spirituality. I feel we're going to be pushed, and we're pushed in that direction. It is the North Node. It is fated energy. This is a lesson we are meant to learn. And all of those things are hitting it. Saturn, Venus, Mercury, Mars is trining that energy. So to me, once all of this energy gets going, and it's going to be very shortly here, because Mercury will be coming up on 20 degrees of Saturn in the not too distant future, right? I feel that is a good kickoff for things. So right when she goes, the day that Mercury enters its shadow, Venus goes retrograde, same day. So they're so synced that
Yeah.
these two planets are going to be giving us huge messages coming forward. And these are collective messages. They're very, very important.
I've been feeling like that too. Okay, thank you, because that makes total sense to me now of why, like, it just feels like so sped up as far as downloads, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, Mercury, the planet of communication, is picking up speed there. Okay, thank you so much.
I can go ahead and start with the collective question. So, what lessons are we integrating in this pause for ourselves here? And what I got, I'm using the Sacred Forest deck, and this is Frog Spirit. And one of the things that really caught my attention is that, this is being able to have a redo. It's like a redo. You can go back to the beginning. You can make different choices. It's always about the cycle. This is very much a card of what are the cycles of the frog. And the frog means different things in different areas of the world. The Native Americans, the Japanese, they all have different meanings for what the frog means, but many of them are related to spirituality and spiritual renewal. And I feel that is very much what this is trying to say to us. The other thing I wanted to note is that the frog is able to be, it's amphibious. It's got water and land. We're going to have some very strong water energy, but we need also to have the grounded energy of the earth. So bring that in whatever way you can into your daily practice. We really only have one planet in an earth sign, and that is Uranus, which is not exactly calm. So find ways to bring the earth energy in to your daily life, just as a practice of enjoying trees, looking at the shape of them, touching the bark. Sometimes we can't go barefoot in the snow, but we can go out and touch things that nature has made. So that's what I would say is this is going to be a time of renewal for all of us. Take the time now to take that breath, get into your spiritual center. You're getting centered during this time so that you're able to meet whatever challenge comes forward. So with that, I'll go on to Elizabeth.
Thank you, sweetheart. And this is the awakening for you guys. Obviously, many of you are on a spiritual path, but it's going to increase. You're going to get more downloads as the ladies were talking about. And don't overthink it. Go with the flow. I almost feel like Dawn, she did the kick and she's just, I'm going to go on my back for a hot minute and float and plan where I'm going to go. I'm going to look for the synchronicities. Angie said it. You're going to see double numbers, of course, tomorrow. I feel like you're really, sorry, you guys, really going to see even triple nines. I'm getting things like that. And for some of you, I want to encourage you to really embrace your creativity, the projects you want to do, the books you want to write. What else? All those kind of things that you've been thinking about. Use this time to plan the building blocks is what's coming to me. Excuse you, Pippa. And also, you will get in touch with some of your ancestral roots. It's a good time for an Akashic reading with Sari when you see this card. And with that, I will go to Jen, but quickly just be an observer too at this time. Okay, thank you, Jen.
Okay. So all of these messages are just so aligned with definitely the energy that we're feeling right now. And so where Angie said about the downloads like crazy, absolutely. And one of the ones I got just to go with this was 444. And so, and what's interesting is the card I pulled is also a 4 card. So it just kind of verified what I was getting. So the 4s are about foundation, stability, and sacred structure. It also reminds you that something lasting requires, building something that lasts requires patience. And also, we are divinely protected and guided. This pause is not a punishment, it is a preparation. It is a bridge to get us into realignment with what it is that we're actually supposed to be. And so it's honestly, this is a timeline jump that we are taking right now. And so we're just kind of getting reintegrated right now. And so I pulled with the Healing the Inner Child Oracle, and I pulled the Sacred Desire. So what lessons are we integrating? The Sacred Desire. Many of us have been raised to fear the resonant yes within ourselves and mistrust our deepest longings. Depending on our culture that we grew up in, we might have internalized the belief that desires are sinful or vain. You might believe it is selfish to follow your dreams. You might hear inner voices telling you, wake up and be realistic. Life is hard, it is suffering, and dreams are naive. Denying your deepest desires and dreams keeps them in the shadow, and whatever is suppressed comes back to influence us, often in unpleasant ways. If we are spiritual beings having a human experience, if we are made in the image of God, then our very longings hold a clue as to why we were born. Is the tree's desire for rain and sunlight not part of the fabric of the universe? What if your longings hold the key to your purpose and your journey as a soul? This card invites you to recognize your desires as sacred and to act on them. Every great change in our collective was born from the courage of those who had a dream and dared to act upon it. So what was sacred to your younger self? What did you desire more than anything as a child? Can you remember your childhood dreams and how they felt in your body? What happened to them as you grew older? Say out loud with your inner child, our dreams are sacred. And so it's connecting you back to the desires of your heart so that you can actually get on the path that you were meant to be here on. All right, so I'm going to move forward now with Sari.
All right, and I am pulling from the Alice in Wonderland deck, and the card that I pulled today is called Curiouser and Curiouser. It means discovery, inquiry, weirdness, and curiosity. Curiouser and Curiouser, cried Alice. She was so much surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. Now I'm opening out like that was the largest telescope that ever was. And that's from Alice in Wonderland. Now it says, when we enter new surroundings and allow ourselves to discover the wonders that lie within us, we often find ourselves feeling fascinated and filled with awe at what is taking place. When everything seems very new and exciting, we can be filled with the kind of wonder that is most often thought to belong to children. The truth is we can all tap into that wonder again. So the themes are very similar to what Jen and Elizabeth and Dawn pulled. This is a time of stepping back and being curious, but part of being curious is the ability to observe. And so as you are observing your environment around you, think about how children, how they look at the world with just this fascination and wonder. And does it allow you to bring some joy that perhaps you haven't felt? So this is another consistent message for the collective, that we all have an opportunity now to be curious and suspend our judgment about things and to look at things from a different perspective as a child would. But in order to do this, we actually have to be able to sit and observe and watch and let our hearts be filled with joy. So that is another opportunity that we have in front of us during this time of pause. And I will now turn it over to Angie for the last collective message.
Loving all the messages, guys. So I wanted to bring in the card that I pulled for today because it literally answers this question. And when I was checking back on my notes, the same moment I was reading Write a Letter to Yourself about how to handle cycles of change. Write a letter to your 32-year-old self, whether that is in the future or way back in the past, like it is for me. Today's date does add up to a 32, and literally the minute she said the word cycles, that's the word I was on when I was reading my notes. So I was like, that was my confirmation there. So when we're talking about the lessons that we're integrating during this pause, today's energy here is about what door is closing. There's that in between, but one door is closing and one door is opening, and you got that awkward place there in the middle. And this card is about a portal, the interior, our insides of ourself. And the second I saw this card, I thought of that poem about the cave that you fear to answer, or that you fear to enter, holds the answers that you seek. And this is about, this is from my, The Wild Unknown by Kim Krans. And it says, those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat, where one can, quote unquote, see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet, because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city with the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. And when this is light in its energy, it's our sacred center within. And when it's in shadow, that's about withdrawal, isolation, and hiding. So we've been talking quite a bit about people saying, I've been in my cave for a while. It's time to come out. I've been hermiting too long. Yeah, we're getting near that time. It just feels like that little awkward in between, like, okay, where's the door? Where's the door? When is it going to open? And then in addition with that fun little, I don't know if you can see him here, that fun little seahorse that we got last night. And then that is about taking on a role that we haven't ever taken on before. We are changing our perspective. And I'm glad you said that, Suri, because that was my whole challenge today was, if we're feeling anxious now about a door closing and it's that weird time right now, it's about perspective. You can gain that perspective if you're all up in your feels right now. Think about a time when you were 32 or back before that, if you're not 32 yet, but you have been through a closed door before. You have then have the perspective to look and see and go, okay, I'm far removed from that at this point. I'm not getting all worked up at it. I've reached a place of neutrality. You have a whole new perspective about why that happened for you and not to you. So we have the capability to do that. It's just when you're in the thick of it, or when you're in this nest, or when you've been in your cave for a little while, you can't see the lesson of it. It doesn't feel like it's for you. It feels like it's against you. It feels heartbreaking. But if we can go back and remember a time and look at, well, that completely opened up this door. And if I had never left that job, or if I had never ended that friendship, or whatever it is, I would have never met so-and-so, or I would have never met my best friend at this new job. So we are able to have that perspective. It's just really hard when we're in the thick of something. So in order to kind of get ourselves past that anxious hump about what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, think about a time you've already been through this. We all have. And think about it from that lens of, what did it end up bringing you? And we can look forward and not have that fear or anxiety about the future, right? Because we know that when that next door opens, it's gonna be something good. So I hope that helps somebody out there today. I love that it's the number of today's date, 32, And it's all about that throat chakra communication. Communicate to yourself about a past door and a new door. Use that energy to then calm any kind of fears that you might have about an impending change. And I'm passing it back over to Miss Dawn.
Hi, I'm reading for Donna Witten today. So Donna, I pulled for you from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. This is such a beautiful deck. Roots of Abundance. This card signals you to pay attention to how you are anchored in the story of your life. Trust that you will be taken care of. The world is full of limitless potential and will nourish you according to your beliefs, regardless of temporary outer conditions. You are not a victim of life. Life happens for you, not to you. The message is simple. Your life is safe and secure, and your intentions are coming to fruition. And even though this shows strong roots, I really get the sense that everybody's definition of abundance is going to be changing. And you have to define that for yourself and know that things are changing for a reason. Things are changing for your greatest and highest good. That is what the North Node is about, to get you where you're supposed to be going. And that's where all the energy is. And I saw that you said that you been in a hermit mode for 3 months. If you have anything in the early degrees of Aquarius, that probably is the reason, because Aquarius is, you love people, but you don't necessarily want to live with people. That's very much that Aquarius energy of people are great over there. So, and you would do anything to help them. But I think that's what I'm getting here is you're going to be taken care of. Everything is going to be fine. You're going to really be able, I get this picture of your roots reaching down into the soil, no matter where you are. Maybe it's a new place, and then the branches spreading out into the sky in this just a joyful feeling. So I feel that I'm getting a lot of downloads right now, so it's a little confusing. Take this as the main message. You are going to be greatly blessed. Things will change in a way that you don't recognize, but you are going to be taken care of. The roots of abundance are there. The roots of who you are firmly planted. And that will take you a long way. It's not like you can't change the soil that you're in, you know? And I feel that the big message is everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And I think I feel like that's a little door up at the top. So keep your eyes open for keys. So let's go ahead and go on. Is it Jen we have next? No, it's Elizabeth.
Me.
Sorry.
It's me.
Elizabeth.
I love the 2 in that card too, trusting your intuition and everything. The grasshopper, a lot of times, like Jiminy Cricket and all that, can be referring to Jesus's spirit. And also being a hermit for 3 months, I'm Aquarius rising, I get it. It's a little bit like being Odin, though, and hanging from the tree in that pause when you need to do the spiritual cleansing. And I got up because I have a really good book about, it's the Sorcerer's Something, a woman's journey. And it really is about this kind of awakening and transitioning, and literally sometimes hanging from a tree, like in a hammock, not like that, in a cool way, right? All right. That being said, but do think about the crickets and the grasshoppers and lotus and the frogs and all these cool symbols. And Puff, hey everybody. But I pulled some cards for Puff, and I do feel like there's a tower moment coming, Puff, but it's good. It's part of the synchronicities we're talking about. It's about the spiritual healing and this, the shedding of some situations, that tower kind of thing. And and then sitting with it and understanding what that spiritual shift is, but knowing that you are protected, guided, you are getting a ton of downloads, and they love that. And dreams are hard to remember, so if you could just, the second you think of it, write it down, even if it's in the dark, that's a good way to try. And then there's some that are really, you'll never forget those dreams, which are really cool too. And with this, I also want to tell you that I don't know if you're in a relationship, but this tower might bring you love, and that love heals everything. So I do hope that helps. Well, cool. Very good. And now to Jen. Beautiful Jen. Thank you.
Okay. So I have pulled for Misty Greer, and I pulled with the Healing the Inner Child Oracle for you too. And I took down a few notes as well. So I feel like you have completed a cycle. And one of the things that you were working through with the Mars retrograde is mother wounds. And so the card that I pulled for you is Coming Home. Returning to the Universal Mother is the most profound way to heal our sense of shame. We return to her through opening up to her ever-present love. The unconditional love of the divine feminine principle of Mother Earth and of the elements that make up our body welcomes us home without judgment. The Divine Mother is the feminine aspect of creation, and she is known by many names: Mother Mary, Kali, Durga, and Shakti, to name a few. This goddess principle has always been here for us. When we see everything as a manifestation of the Mother, we experience enlightenment and joy. As Ram Dass writes in Be Love Now, in the compassionate embrace of the Mother, the layers of old habits, preconceptions, and residues of past experiences can dissolve in the ocean of maternal affection. The blue sky is her mind. The green leaves pulse with her blood. The wind is her breath. The rain, her water of life. She is Gaia, the Earth Mother, but also subtler than that. Our cosmic mother reminds us of our inherent goodness and value. She invites us to release the shame we have been carrying for generations. This card invites you to remember that her support is unfailing. As a child, did you feel a connection to a loving motherly presence? How did you experience this and nurture it? Did you enjoy being in nature or being with animals? How did you sense the unspoken language of your divine mother? Tell your little one, our divine mother supports us and loves us always. We are held in the loving embrace. And what I was kind of really getting from that, though, is like my connection back to Christianity and the church. We talked about the Heavenly Father all the time, and like I have the father wounds. And so like that was my comfort, is knowing that I had the Heavenly Father that was the perfect father for me. But this is kind of telling that if you had the mother wounds, the earth itself, the Mother Earth, that there is the mother energy that's been nurturing you this whole time too. And that's something that definitely was not talked about in the Christian church. It was all the father energy. So that's what I pulled from that the most, is that you have been supported, you have been nurtured this whole time, even if you didn't get it directly from the source that it was intended. All right, so hopefully that has been helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and move forward with Sari.
All right, I'm going to pull for Venus. Venus, hi, I hope you're still here. I don't know what the synchronicities are, but I was called to pull from the Mother Mary Oracle deck, Venus, and I am feeling the energies of Mother Mary around you, as well as Kuan Yin. And the messages of this card are Our Lady of the Abundant Garden. And you can see this beautiful white dove. I keep having doves in my meditations, and this card is really, really beautiful. And I think it's a collective message, but it's very consistent with what Jen, Elizabeth, and Dawn just talked about in their cards as well. And let me read this to you, Venus, but hopefully this might resonate for more of you. I provide life without limit. You have no need to fear loss or lack. For everything that dies, new life is created to supplant it. For every need that you have, there are ample channels through which that need can be fulfilled. I can provide all with wisdom, grace, and even joyful humor. You can find a way to delight in life and enjoy the riches that are available to you if only you open your heart and release your fear. It is habit, not reality, which might keep you uncertain. Trust in me, my child, and be nourished in my living garden of love. And so this card is a beautiful card and a reminder that this oracle card comes, it can come when you were being asked to let go of any fears, perhaps of abandonment in relationships, fears of failure in career or work, fears of not being recognized nor valued, or fears that would prevent you from taking the steps you need to take now or in the future. It also comes at a time where your financial situation is healing and you need to trust new ways of feeling open to abundance to reach you. It comes at a time when all those around you might be in fear and reaction because either a trauma or situation, and you are needed to be the one who stays in your heart and trust in that divine plan. You might be the one through which the mother wants to pour her assistance because you are capable of remaining open to her and not closing down in distrust or shock. This card comes to you with the gift from Mother Mary of abundance, and you are asked to remain open and to know that she has endless provisions through which she blesses the unfolding spiritual destinies of all of her children. So she's got your back. Mother Mary's in your camp, Venus, and Kuan Yin is right there beside her as a partner. So I'm just feeling this lovely energy around you. But I think it's a collective message for all of us that call on Mother Mary, call on Kuan Yin, call on the archangels when we feel in fear or lack or we're not sure of the future, because we've got all these resources and beings, loving beings who want to help us. So Venus, I hope that resonated, and I will pass now to Angie.
Thanks, Sari. I just wanted to support her notion that that message is for everyone because of all the mothering energy. I asked what values are changing earlier today, and I got the womb. So, which was interesting because in Dawn's reading, she was talking about be careful of pregnancy. So all this mother energy, this is about rebirth, receiving the nest, our origin, right? So we can retell or we can see something from a different perspective, our origin from a different perspective, right? We don't need to hang on to those old stories. And that's about like letting our history define us and kind of staying stuck there. We got to move. We're moving into a new age. Like this is the time of transformation here. So I just wanted to back that up. Also came out on the charms for what Elizabeth said. Here's the Paris, the Eiffel Tower is there. And then we had that more of that octopus and snail energy. So I rolled a 1, which nobody chose. And then I rolled a 4, which is a 5 for today. But Peg got a 4. And you got Fox Spirit, think on your feet. So lots of 5s, 2s, 9s today, about being spry and thinking fast on your feet. But what I'm more interested in is the environmental energy around you is this beautiful transformational energy. So again, how can we transform our story? I know you're so busy doing everything for everyone else. So I feel like this is a time for you to take a minute for yourself. Okay. You are the mother, the grandmother. You need to make sure that you're taking care of you. And yes, you are able to think fast on your feet. And this is, the Fox is very much Empress energy, in my Guardian of the Night deck, but that's about too, like, you don't have to always take care of everyone else. Just because you can, there it is. Just because you can doesn't mean that we always have to, right? Or that we should keep over giving. You got to save some for you. And I feel like that's what is changing for you now, is seeing that, okay, I've got to put my oxygen mask on myself if I still am going to be able to do all these thousands of things, because you are like Wonder Woman, Miss Peggy, and I don't know how you do it all, but you do. So I feel like I'm needing to tell you here, just because you can, just because you are the Empress, yes, use that energy though, but make sure you're putting that energy into yourself first so that you can keep giving. And I know you love, and you love hard. But make sure you're doing that for yourself first, because you the mama bear. So make sure you're taking care of you, girl. Back over to Miss Dawn.
Hi, I am reading for Gypsy Vixen, and for those of you who don't know her name, it's Laura. So hello, Laura, today. For you, I drew the card from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. This is number 20, and it's called A Merry Motive. You've chosen a path, you've set an intention, and you've begun to move toward a goal. You feel compelled to keep going, but do you know the why behind the strive? I think that's a super important question. Why? Why have you made this your goal? Is it from someone else's influence, or is it truly what you want? I feel compelled to say that that they're doing the laundry of the stars and hanging them up to dry, and I feel like that's the most important thing right now, is to determine the why of your goal. What is really important to you? I like how this kind of sums it up. You must choose to be in the flow of the experience, relishing the moment. Surrender your expectations to a higher power rather than being guided by your limited self. And it's just like the stars are being washed. It sets up, it's like anything is possible, right? You know, I have the stars and I have them for my laundry because I can wear them anytime I want, right? It's not putting any limitations on what you want to move forward. And that's where you're going to put your focus, but make sure it's your goal. It's your dream. And you're not being pushed towards it from someone else. And I think that's a very important message for everyone out there, is it has to be your dream. It has to be what you feel guided to follow. And we are going to be getting those messages in. So with that, we will be moving on to Elizabeth.
That was another 220. God power behind the 2 there. But yeah, oh, so sparkly and pretty. I'm pulling for Alicia, who I'm so tempted to call Alicia, because that was my mother-in-law's name. So hi, Alicia, hola, but you're Alicia, I believe. And I have here from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, Lost in Space, 36. We're taking it down to 9. Okay, so there's been some endings, I understand. But, and if you feel lost for, it's just a hot second. Okay, Alicia, just give yourself 24 hours. That's what this card, the biggest message here is to give yourself like a little beautiful container. Think of one of Cerie's wonderful meditations where you're just in a beautiful bubble, protected by this energy, absorbing the lessons you've learned over the past 9 years, perhaps. We'll have to look at your numerology. But in that little container where you take a break, the pause that we've been talking about, you'll feel very safe. And I am, again, getting a lot of that hermit energy where it's okay, you guys, to take a break. And that's for everybody. I know the girls here are tired. Peggy's tired. Everybody's tired. Give yourself 20, even just 24 hours. I wish you could see how pretty it is. Dawn has the best camera. It makes her stuff look 3D. But when you feel lost, I want you to think about the Emperor energy too. Where's my note about that? And that part of the challenge, maybe for you, if this resonates, is kind of giving away some of the authority and delegating and just giving away
You muted. Elizabeth, you're muted.
Was I muted the whole time?
No.
Oh, I hit it with my elbow. I'm so sorry. Thank you for catching me. But just to not get lost in that pause is really the important message. And, you know, like balance your thoughts. I'm getting messages about duality. And again, I just one more time, that pretty little bubble, just for a break. Don't feel lost in space. You're going to really get your power back. Just give yourself a little bit of a break. And I hope that helps, Alicia. And now back to Jen, if we have time. I think we do. Okay.
Yeah. All right, and that card was gorgeous. What deck is that you're using?
I'm sorry, that was the Shaman's Dream Oracle.
Okay, I have that deck and I've not seen that card.
I have me either.
And it's amazing how the same cards can show up so differently on the screens because, yeah, Dawn's always looks like amazing.
Yeah, we got to talk about her camera. It's really good.
And that same card, Jen, was pulled on the Daily Divine Forecast Thursday. It came out with one of the two oracles that came out. I was like, wait a minute, because that's the first time I've ever seen it too. I was like, I haven't seen this. I've had this deck for a while since Christmas. I haven't seen it yet. There must be something in there.
Have pulled for Kathy. So for Kathy, what has been going on in the pause? What lesson you're integrating in the pause? And I pulled with the healing, the inner child for you too. And we have bliss. And this is a 22 card. And so 22 is a master builder number. And it tells me just instantly that you have everything that you need to get the bliss that you're looking for within yourself. So our essence is shimmering bliss. At the core of our being, we are all exactly like this child, immersed in energizing ecstatic light and joy, surrounded by resources and allies just waiting to guide us and support us. We are inseparable from Source, and as such, our nature is unconditional love, knowing, and bliss. Experiencing and accepting this is our soul's journey as we move through time and space, clarifying the lens of our perception more and more with each encounter and experience that we have. There is no rush for us to get there. There is no spiritual hierarchy, no final achievement or destination. Life is not to be achieved, it is to be lived. In this way, children are our ultimate teachers, reminding us that the outcome doesn't matter. What matters is the joy of the moment, the laughter, and the quality of our presence. This card invites you to simplify and slow down as you consider the possibility that there is no better place to be than this exact moment. Your inner child knows about the state of bliss better than you, so allow them to guide you. Take your inner child's hand and relinquish your adult seriousness and responsibility. Ask little you to show you joy. Follow them into the flow of the moment with the innocence and playfulness. You never know where this journey will take you. Say to your inner child, take me to bliss and I'll follow you. And so what I'm also getting with that is like, you're going to create this inner joy, this inner bliss within inside of yourself. And that's what's going to attract in all of these things that you're sitting here trying to manifest in. You are recalibrating yourself right now to align to this highest timeline where all of this bliss and all of those things that you've been waiting for are waiting for you, but you've got to get yourself there first. And so, like I said, that 22 master builder number is saying that you have everything you need within you. It starts within you first, and then everything else is going to be attracted into you. All right. So, Sari. Okay.
All right. I'm going to read for Kim B. And I just wanted to do a special shout out to Ed. We're so glad that you woke up, and we're still waiting for the answer to the joke, the fool, the magician, and the hermit walk into a bar. So maybe next week you'll have the answer, but I have not forgotten. So Kim, this is a message for you. And this is from the Kuan Yin Oracle. So today, Mother Mary and Kuan Yin are just all around me. So I felt really drawn to pull a card. And this is called the Radiant Moon of Compassion. It's a 23, which goes to 5, which is all about change. Kuan Yin sits upon a radiant moon of compassion, pouring forth the spiritual strength needed for you to liberate yourself from any lower vibrational energies of fear and judgment into the vibration of freedom, love, and peace, where you naturally belong. You were being urged to use this power now to grow spiritually and free yourself from a situation that could draw you down. So this is a card, Kim, where oftentimes this is a situation, oftentimes like the Five of Wands in tarot, where we may have lower energies around us, family members, conflict at work or whatever it is. There's drama and conflict in the energies around us. And oftentimes that can impact us if we are not careful. Sometimes it can come within if you have any sort of fear or judgment about yourself or anything that you're holding within. And so for you, Kim, whichever way it might be, this is Kuan Yin's message to you that she is with you and that you can choose to allow these energies to pull you down, or you can choose to grow spiritually through the practice of compassion and liberate yourself into greater peace, love, and freedom. Just because other people are acting out around us, it doesn't mean that we have to join in. We can have compassion for where they are, but it doesn't mean that we have to go to where they are. And I'm getting this energy that you are really expanding in your spiritual journey, and you are really trying to focus on your vibration and being high vibe. And Kuan Yin is showing up to just support you and to tell you that she's here. And just like Mary Mother or Mother Mary's in the house, so is Kuan Yin, and she's got your back. And her last message says, compassion does not mean being a doormat. I love that. Or indulging in the emotional sufferings, or even the manipulations or games that others may seek when they're coming from a wounded state. It does not mean collapsing into sympathy or seeking to rescue another from their own life's choices and experiences. Compassion is recognition of the power of all souls to co-create their life experience. It's also the recognition of the struggle that humankind can experience in the process of spiritual growth and a gentle, loving compassion for all of humanity. So though we can have compassion, people still have to be accountable for their own behavior, and we can't rescue others. And that's really hard for empaths. I know for me, it is. We want to be helpful. We want to help people when they're down in their luck or their energy. But Kuan Yin is saying, girl, stay high vibe and keep going. And I've got you, and I'm here to support you. And don't pay attention to the shenanigans around you. You don't need to engage. So, Kim, thank you. And I will pass this to Angie.
Thank you, Sari. Pretty much the same vein as what I was going to say to Angela here, as far as it says parrot spirit, and it's watch your words, because your vibration is affected by what you think. It's affected by what you say. So we have to get in the habit of catching ourselves, right? When we do say something that might be lower vibrational, as far as, oh, I don't have enough money for that, or oh, I'm too blank for whatever the blank is, right? Because then that's what you're exactly ordering, right? That's what you're that's the pennies, the pentacles that you're putting into your wishing well. So you've got to be very careful about what you do say, and let that beautiful rainbow energy, if you do catch yourself, what's the other end of that? Okay, I don't have enough money for that yet. So that was a little tip that I used for quite a while, until you just stop saying the negative things, because we don't even know we're saying them. I never recognized how much I was putting myself down, or this makes me look fat, was just constant, just because I felt that ridicule from being younger, and like just constantly feeling like I was being judged because of my weight and whether I was worthy or not. So when you're saying things like that to yourself, it brings our vibrational frequency down so much so that we don't even know we're down there. Right. So if you can catch yourself in that moment, follow it with a yet is the easiest thing to say, to kind of rework that energy, because you have to go back in. It's kind of like casting a spell with your words, right? And your thoughts. And then those thoughts become things very, very quickly, especially in this energy right now. And we got to be really mindful of that. So with this, watch your words. It does talk about repeating what you truly believe. And if we believe that our value is wrapped up on our appearance or how we look, or that we aren't deserved of abundance, whatever that means to us, how can we look at abundance? Our values are changing. We are looking at, okay, well, now it doesn't have to be the highest paying position. Maybe I'm want to go for the position that gives me the most time at home with my family. Okay. So this is telling me that your words are very important at the moment, because that's a crossing energy of the scarab beetle, meaning magic is working through you. Your words, Angela, are magic. Trust me on that. And when you start changing your perception, when you start changing your thoughts, you start changing your words, and then your words literally start changing your life. I'm telling you right now, start it today. Just catch yourself and rework that magic spell. Okay. So I don't know why you needed to hear that today, but especially with that magic card showing up, that can be some old patterning there. So it's really wanting you to change what you're putting out into the universe. Okay. Love you, mean it, guys. I think, so are you going to wrap us up for tonight?
Listen, what great messages today. And I think they resonate for all of us. And so from our hearts to you, thank you so much for joining. Have a blessed weekend. It's the calm before everything starts happening again next week. So take this opportunity this weekend to rest, to observe, to be curious, to really stay grounded and centered in your energy. Don't get drawn into the drama, but be safe. We're sending lots of love, and we will see you Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another live. And again, have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much.